Well, it's all about Essar then.
Absolutely, and what a deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, $13 billion, stunning. And it's a, by the way, Essar Oil, so when you talk about Essar, and when you talk about banks, it's usually in the context of, well, it's stressed, et cetera, right? I mean, it's a chronically stressed asset, as somebody put it. But I think it's important, prima facie, to clarify that Essar Oil is actually a very, very good asset. I mean, right?
Yeah.
They generate about 10,000 crores in operating profits. And their debt is about 30,000 crores. So Essar Oil has never been a problem for banks per se.
Yeah.
But steel, power, ports, I mean, these are some of the other assets where the problem has been. Let's just put this down and break it down a little bit for our viewers in terms of why ICICI Bank is jumping up the way it is jumping up. And by the way, I mean, to preface my commentary, Ekta, I would also like to say that I also thought that because this deal has been in newspapers for the past 6 months, 7 months, right, that something is happening. It was earlier 49%, then 74% of Essar Oil being bought by Rosneft. It's been in papers. So I also thought that there would be some sort of investor fatigue, that unless they saw actual numbers being discussed by either banks or the management of Essar, stocks wouldn't move. But, well, we are seeing a big move. So I must also admit to being a little surprised by the move that we are seeing. But the move itself is not without a small reason, and these are the reasons. The total watch list loans portfolio at the end of the second quarter for ICICI Bank is about 39,000 crores or so. That is 39,000 crores, right? ICICI's exposure to Essar promoters. Now, the Ruiyas don't own most of their stakes in oil, power, ports, etc. directly. They own through a promoter company called Essar Global. So ICICI's exposure to the promoters, or you can say Essar Global, stands at about close to 6,000 odd crores or so. Now, that is the reported figure that we have. What this deal will mean is that 6,000 crores can get sort of taken care of directly. That cash infusion means that the promoter loans can be repaid almost immediately. So that is 6,000 crores taken care of at the promoter or the Essar Global level, right?
And I think that's going to happen immediately as well.
That will happen immediately as well. Now, there is Essar Steel, which has got loans, right? Essar Steel is, I think, about 30,000 crores of loans. I think Ritu was pointing out that Ports has also got some 6,000-7,000 crores of loans. Power is a stressed asset. Those entities have also got loans where those loans have been, banks who've got exposure to steel, for example, have been selling these assets off to asset reconstruction companies, etc. Without going into, because it's very difficult to disaggregate who owes how much to what, to which bank, and which entity owes how much to which bank, you can kind of say that because of this transaction, because in a lot of these cases, I mean, for example, if Essar Steel would have borrowed, it's a project loan. But it would not have only come in as a project loan. The promoters or Essar would have given collateral in the form of good Essar Oil shares as well. Because of the Essar Oil transaction, generally speaking, the stress on account of the steel, Essar Steel and Essar Power main, these two companies also comes down quite a bit, right? That's the second level impact because of the Essar deal. One is direct promoter. The other is the stress on account of steel, power, ports, etc. also comes down because you've got a new owner in the form of Rosneft, which has now come in. So that is one. So that is 6,000 crores we are talking about. We're not trying to put a number to steel. What is the reduction of stress or it's on account of steel, etc. 6,000 crores promoter level debt gets taken care of. I want to add one more entity, which is the JP Group. The ICICI's exposure to JP Group is approximately 10,000 crores. The bank, ICICI Bank had indicated, I mean, roughly, that because of the asset sales, etc., the cement plant, etc., the sales which have recently happened, the stress from JP will be down by about half or so, 50% reduction. Now, that is 5,000 crores. So 5,000 crores on account of JP, 6,000 crores on account of Essar. We're talking about 11,000 crores taken care of, right? Or fixed, if you want to call it that. So 11,000 crores out of nearly 39,000 crores is close to about 28%. 28% of ICICI's watch list, in a way, gets taken care because of this deal. Now, the numbers may be off by 200-300 crores here or there, but these are the big numbers. They won't be off by a wide margin. I want to just put that as a caveat. So approximately 30% of the watch list gets fixed for ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank has been a very cheap stock in that sense. The valuation numbers will also come up on your screen. On an adjusted financial year 18 basis, it's available at 1.3 odd times, including today's big move. Axis trades at about 1.9, SBI 0.9 odd times or so. So I think this is a pretty large, meaningful move directionally, speaking for ICICI. I think this may be the start of a bit of a re-rating in a way. I mean, people had sold the stock, right? Too many issues, nothing happening. Sometimes
Earnings
all that markets want is a trigger,
Yeah.
and this provides that trigger in a meaningful way.
Yes, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see whether ICICI Bank eventually does catch up with Axis Bank in terms of valuations and whether it does get to around 2 times price to book value. But all that